Hi, I'm going to do a reading on Trump after Elon leaves in May, because my sense of things is that he's going to see an even faster decline with him. And I've been getting cards that look like he might end up leaving, resigning at some point. I know that sounds crazy, wishful thinking perhaps, but I have been getting cards like that. And so I thought I'd take a look, and I'm going to look with the Zammer Twin Oracle by Deviant Moon. It's a little weird, but it's an interesting deck, and it really fits my hand very well. Yeah. Okay, so just going to use this deck and see what we get. How will Trump do after Elon departs as planned in May, late May? How will Trump do after Elon leaves? Because I've also gotten indications from readings during my lives that I do a lot of political reads during my lives. So if you haven't and you're interested in that, check it out. Um, but I get spring, summer, and fall as being really intense. They come up as significant for this year. So I thought we should look. Just want to give these a good shuffle. Let's see what we get. Pardon any background noise. It's a family home. And it's a really nice day here. And I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. Okay, we're getting Celestia, the stars, and the Ruby Queen. God, it looks like the orange pumpkin head. But that's the Ruby Queen. It's a ruby, not a pumpkin. We get the hag. Ooh, this guy and the cards he gets, I'm telling you. And the visitors. Oh, wonder if it's going to be more UFO activity. Maybe it'll be another heightened time of, well, either spying, coming back. Sure reminds me of like the Chinese uh, sending over those craft. And I think that there were some people behind some of the craft that we were seeing. I think it was a mixture of legit, unidentified, and human-based, vehicles. So I'm wondering about that. That comes with the hag. I read in pairs. Leviathan. Okay. And that's with the ladder. So let's take a look with this little deck. So we're going to look at Celestia, which is number 6 in this thing, and number 41, the Ruby Queen. So let's check it out. Let's check out this deck and do a reading on Trump and how he's going to do without Elon once Elon's gone. So Celestia is poised and beautiful. Celestia makes her way through a bed of snakes. Though the beasts snarl and show their jagged teeth, our heroine passes unfazed by their threats, for she knows her own worth and pays no mind to the depravity below. So we're getting this with women, the Ruby Queen. And that makes me think of someone like Jasmine Crockett, somebody that's willing to stand up to them and tell them what it's about in real language. And they might want to slight her but she doesn't. That's it's. But they have to think of her isn't important to her. Getting under their skin is. And so the upright meaning of the Celestia card is a classy or refined person, charisma, elegance, high ambitions, maintaining dignity. But we know it's not Trump. Anyone in that company. Extreme confidence, holding oneself above pettiness or drama, a virtuous role model. So then I think we're going to see a woman stepping up once Elon steps out. Maybe she's going to be stepping up her role, or maybe just women in general will become more active in confronting, I think, Trump and being a problem for him. Because this woman knows what, she's not going to be suckered into their nonsense. And let's just see what the Ruby Queen is. And she is charismatic. 41. Okay. Oh, one more. Okay. The Ruby Queen is the glamorous Ruby Queen. Well, that would certainly be Miss Jasmine because she does like her style, and I think she looks beautiful. The glamorous Ruby Queen strolls along the shoreline holding a pet gold sphere by a leash. Across the lake sits her luxurious palace filled with treasures that she's collected over a lifetime. However, no hurry to return home. Looking over her shoulder, she sees a brilliant star which calls her to follow a path of spiritual enlightenment. And the upright meaning is a long journey of self discovery, pursuing a new direction in life and acquiring knowledge, having the passion and the energy to do the things you love. And this is also wealth and prosperity and material possessions, concentration, compassion, and competence. Definitely not part of the Trump team. So I think this is a woman that knows her worth, maintains her dignity, and takes them on. She's well liked. She's got style, and I can't help but think of her and others like her that have that kind of swagger a little bit. Anyway, then we get the hag and the visitors. So this is like there's an ending, and I think there's going to be a feeling of an ending around with the hag. Because usually in most stories, the hag precedes death or an ending. So let's just take a look and see how they've used it here. I know these cards might be a bit like, some of the pictures to people, but I think they offer their own unique, very much a plum point of view on the spot about good for using with politics and things like that, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. So the hag is the old woman, shuffles through winter in the wilderness, holding a blooming rose in her hand. And although her physical beauty is long faded, do not underestimate her abilities based on appearance. To me, this is older women as well. She can be your greatest ally or your most feared enemy. And I can imagine that, again, going to spirited women like Jasmine that are in to help us. We're so lucky. I feel like they are like gonna go for him. They're not, you know, the time is now. And the upright meaning is there's dormant spiritual powers arising and empowered knowledge and wisdom, magic manifested, healing, having control over your inner demons. So that card of the hag also connects to the Ruby Queen and really with Celestia as well as a woman that's fully in control of her self, in essence, that she is actually able to use moderation, and she's not going to take crap off of someone that's being ridiculous. It's, you know, how I think anyone should be. But this is a particularly feminine energy, and I think we're getting a nod toward it is an energy that is not just only with Miss Jasmine Crockett, but all of us, older women, younger women, in the prime, you know. I think that the prime though is as you age, you just get better until, unfortunately, if you have issues and start to decline like Trump, that's going to be a problem. But I see women, and especially maybe with also the likes, we'll have to see how uh, the Wisconsin Supreme Court justice is. I think just in general, though, uh, women start to become more important because they're also trying to take away our basic rights. So, and that's not an exaggeration. That's the agenda. That's the plan, and it's all been funded by the uh, really extreme religion that people call Christianity, but don't follow very well. Um, the funny thing is, they all think they got a pulse on it, and most of them don't. They would probably, well, they'd send Jesus back. They don't like migrants, they don't like immigrants, and they don't like asylum seekers. They'd separate him from his mother. But I digress. So we have the power of women rising and women representatives. I like that. I'm grateful. And the visitors. Let's see what that's about. And then Leviathan and the ladder. I'm curious to see what I will get with that. Visitors. Okay. Hmm. Strange flying machines. Oh my God. I think descend from the sky over a bustling seaport. And they were, this sounds like that drone and orb unidentified craft activity. I think we're going to get it again. The townsfolk look up in wonder, not knowing if the mysterious visitors come as friend or foes. Upright meaning innovation or profound change. It can also mean invasion. Exploration, fear of the unknown, otherworldly or supernatural influences. Cultural collision. And I do think to some degree it is one of they're trying to use the 1 percentile to crush the majority of us, which are not in that uber wealthy, ridiculous bracket. Now, let's see. Leviathan and ladder. And that is 12 and is that a 10 or a 30? Okay. Leviathan. The colossal Leviathan roams the ocean depths in an endless search for souls to devour. Beware, for he is a fearsome sight to behold. Once encountered, there's little chance of escape. Only those strong in spirit have any hope of survival, and the upright meaning is an enormous challenge for undertaking. Insurmountable fear. He's really, I think, afraid of these women, or he's going to become even more so a tyrant. Okay, we know who this is. This is the orange ding dong. And this would be about right. He is a glutton. All right, anyways. So it's authoritarianism as well, anarchy, addiction. Well, he's kind of all these things. A powerful and evil force. So we have a woman of virtue and in truth, a woman that knows her stuff and isn't easily swayed confronting the Leviathan. Women older, especially, and I think 30s to 40s. Not to exclude anyone else, because I think women of all ages will be, and that's what this kind of represents, the Ruby Queen, Celestia, and the Hag. And the visitors, I think he's going to become dangerous again, and I do think that we will have more activity again coming up with that craft. So it's about, the manipulation and the greed, all these things that he is and embodies, and the ladder. That was number 30. I think there's confrontation, and she's going to be kicking it off. The women are going to kick it off. Oh, whoops. A peasant makes his way up an old ladder, curious to find out what awaits at the top. To his astonishment, he discovers a spirit of a glorious angel guarding the entrance to heaven. These two came together. Here we have the entrance to a holy place and a very less than holy creature, a creature of vice and debauchery and just gluttony, like Trump. Is he going to be knocking on heaven's door, beginning to go toward that end? I think perhaps so. Let's see. If he's knocking there, he might have to wait to get in there. He's going to have one heck of a thing after he's going to have to I think, come back as a lot to help people. My mom and I did some readings off camera. Okay, so, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So it shows a peasant making their way up an old ladder and curious, and they see that it is an angel there that's guarding the entrance to heaven, and the meaning is pursuing a lofty dream. Okay, and finding success, ascension, rising up. I think it's an uprising. People, and I think the peasant stands for us, the average people, not this one percentile. And I believe it's also us with the women, um, maybe realizing a calling. Amazing and unexpected encounter will result, finding the truth. I think the women are going to put the truth hard on him with that ladder, and against his delusions and stuff, that lofty and also flighty stuff. Those, to me, this is also popping of the bubble, so to speak. And I think it's meant to pop his bubble and show him out not as a holy person, but somebody that's done really things that are wrong. And I'm sorry, but it's the truth. He's chosen it. We get the grotto paired with the acrobat. Now, that grotto sure looks like someone that's trying to see if it's okay to come out or something. Um, they don't look completely relaxed. They look like it's a little sneaky looking. And the acrobat looks like tricks to me. So I think he's going to be exposed for the tricks he's done. He's going to be more vulnerable. That's my gut feeling right here, just real quick. And time to go for him. one down. 39. Let's just take some more information out of this. And it's also about finding, rewards after hard work. Well, we know that will never be him, but the women that have been working hard, such as Crockett and, you know, so many others that do podcasts and what have you. To me, it's that spirit runs through all these women and me and you if you're female and even male because it's the spirit. It is one that's but particularly feminine because it is the time for the feminine. And I like to see that she is confronting this Leviathan, this big stinky liar. And maybe we'll be seeing more mixture of spy ships as well as perhaps UFOs in the air. Um, again, because we're at a critical moment. And that's why I think we saw them earlier. I think we've also got some spying going on because they know they can get away with it with Ding Dong in there. Um, they might be coming in for one last thing while he's in there. I don't know, but I feel like I feel like this oppressive behavior, it actually pulls in UFOs because I think they know. This is going to sound crazy. Maybe I'm wrong, but hear me out. I think they know what they're doing, and that's why they shut down the nukes. Um, and I think there's a bunch of stuff we have not heard about, and maybe never will, but that they prevented. I think the friend or foe aspect of the visitors is a good question. I've gotten cards before with Trump where just in the Elon's reading, where I thought he looks like UFO disclosure might be brought up. Maybe we're going to see and the agricultural industry. It could be that those two things, not necessarily together, but could be two things that are signs of his ending. Um, let's continue. Oh, wait. Just before I do that, with Grotto and Acrobat, I must tell you that my mom and I, when I was doing readings with her, on Monday, I think it was, we were looking at would it be the nature of the passings of Elon and Trump, not to be macabre, but curious. And we see with Trump, uh, it looks like it's going to be a natural thing and it's like a stroke, heart attack, or something sudden. Um, for Elon, I got that he would be possibly traveling, trying to get out there and rep his biz, but there's wear and tear on his body, and I think he will go um, as a result of that. And it would be very sudden. Um, his lifestyle, and you just there's a similar thing with Trump and him that way. I don't think he doesn't look particularly good. Um, anyway, so that's what I saw, and I looked at Putin's passing, and it will not be a natural passing, as I've said, and I think it's coming. Um, now let's take a look at a grotto. 39. What do we have for that? Okay, while out exploring the countryside, a young woman accidentally discovers a cave leading to a secret grotto. Entranced by the beauty and serenity, it will become her spiritual sanctuary away from the turbulent world outside. And this is talking about a secluded personal space, an oasis of comfort and tranquility, welcome solitude, and need for privacy. I think this is women's issues, the need for privacy, especially, and also of spiritual reflection, meditation, and discovering a mysterious and deeper inner um, side of yourself, of your nature. I don't know. I think women might find with some of these women that are coming forward and confronting, they might feel safe also, and feel finally that they have someone taking care of their needs and privacy. Like also women's health care. Um, and I think it's just there's some change that's coming that's really going to shift. It's so interesting. I think in reading about what the acrobat stands for next to the grotto, which is someone that can be flexible, um, and I think really stun people by what they're capable of doing. Um, and the fact that I get a woman with this and other cards of women, I think we're going to have, like I said, women come and play a really significant role in perhaps closing out Trump's term early for him. I think that they are going to be resisting uh, what he's doing that is wrong and invading women's privacy, our health, things that should be between us and a doctor, not him or the government. They have, for people that claim to be less government, to want government to control everyone's women's reproductive, and not men's. Like, why aren't they there saying you can't do that? Um, if you ejaculate, that's why aren't they telling them that's a loss of life? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Another thing I saw with these cards is that this hard Christian right is going to phase down. And there's the temperance coming in to balance the extremes. And it is going to, because it's time for it to shift, there's going to be less and less people gradually going toward this type of belief system. I think more people in general, overall, that may have been inclined are not going to. I got personal searching, a more personal one-on-one religion, not religion, but rather belief system with God, and one where other people are not pulling all the power and saying, you listen to me. It's one where that you have to develop, um, and being more independent in that way. So that trend I see as changing, actually. Let's just take a look here too. So it looks like Trump's going to get on the hot seat, and it's going to be a tough ride for him, and with women, and particularly going for him. How is Trump's ending? How long will it be before Trump is he going to leave before the end of his term? Is he going to get so caught up and upset and a mess that he ends up resigning or having to leave early? Because I kind of see something like that happening. So let's just see with these cards, with this deck. Hmm. Look at that. I get a fiery serif there. And I'm getting domination. So it's a power, struggle. The hag, there we get women of all ages in one that has a special power. And we have Omniscius with her. So again, there's a light that women are going to put on him that is just going to show him up for what he is. He's not going to be able to say that they're, I'm sure he'll say that they're not telling the truth, but he won't be able to prove it. His lies are going to be really magnified and clear with these, the women, I think. We have Homunculus and the doctor. I think that's kind of what Trump's going to end up like right there. That mm, in that patient. So let's just take a look. I'm very curious about okay, let's see. Serif 35. It's about health. No kidding. Not the serif, but the doctor. I just flipped to it, and it can be about needing help, you needing to seek health attention. There's physically as well as mentally needing to be seen by a trusted authority, intense scrutiny, competence. So they're going to be pointing out his incompetence, and that's where they're going to dominate. Let's just see. So again, the hag represents dominant spiritual powers that arise. And I think within the likes of people that confront corruption, that's happening, and especially women. It's having control also over, you're not involved in extreme behavior, having moderation. And I think that's also Trump's struggle is with moderation. That's why he had the excess, a gold toilet. What is this with pooping on a gold toilet? I still don't understand. Him and Putin require these gold toilets. All right, 5. Just see that real quick. Yeah, Omniscius is again, like illuminating like the sun, the sky, all seeing Sun King stands atop a mountain holding a blazing torch. From his vantage point high above the clouds, he keenly observes the world below. Not only does he witness day to day activities on the surface, but he also peers deeply into the souls of people below. So, like, this to me is like there's no place for Trump to hide, no lie to hide behind. And vast knowledge and perception, boundless energy, a beacon, a powerful, also moral leader, setting a very high standard to emulate and enlightenment. And that is what is going to be hitting him with the hag, women's, exposing him this way. And not as some kind of anointed one. Quite the opposite. So there's going to be a power play between him and I think the women that are in power, that don't want women to continue to go through being arrested for things like a miscarriage, as it's happened again in, I think, was it Atlanta? Let's see, 33. What's up with that? Now, why? Why people are just so foolish? Um, and it's dangerous. And it does not help children in the long term. Okay, so Homunculus. A tiny winged man shivers inside a glass bottle slightly filled with diluted blood. Flowers sprout from his head and bloom into the night sky while the sun and moon mark the passage of time. Like the flowers, the little man will soon grow exponentially and will eventually shatter his confines. It has to do with human potential. And what seems insignificant today will be much greater tomorrow. Small scale representation of something much greater. Small voice inside the head. It's something that's been incubating, is getting ready to come out. I think it's also possibly because it's connected to a health issue. I think it's his powers of deduction are not so sharp. I think his decline mentally in being coherent and able to understand what people are saying to him could very take another big turn. And he's going to have to see somebody because it's going to come out suddenly. I think there's going to be even greater signs of decline after Trump leaves and he's more confronted actively. We get Layla and the Rebus. Okay, that is number, was it 28 and 48? I'm glad to make this video to show off the deck and to stretch my wings a bit and using an oracle that I bought, but I've not put to enough exercise. It's good to do that, and you get a little bit of a different look into these topics with different decks. All right, that's what makes Trish James decks so great. They really do pierce that. So Layla, that's her right there, is bound by love's web, and the dark beauty stands detained from happiness. Branches with small pink blossoms emerge from her body, forming the shape of a heart around her. Spiders build faint traps on the limbs, hoping to lure unsuspecting victims to their demise. It's a femme fatale, unrequited love, someone who may be lovesick or stuck in a bad relationship, loveless romance, empty promises, and seduction. Well, that's connected to him, I think, and what he's promised. And they turn up empty. And I think that's MAGA becoming disenchanted with their king. Rebus, let's see, 48. Yeah, losing that enchantment of their relationship. I have picked up on that. So that would not be unusual from what I've been seeing. So the Rebus, half king, half queen. Oh, they'll love that. The hermaphrodite now stands as a unified figure atop a wicked red demon. And I think we're kind of dealing that, and I will go back to domination with Trump, wrestling this corrupt, extreme tyranny. And I think this has to do with LGBTQA community and women, the DEI community that people have held their noses about. What a stupid way to be about that. Anyway, so the male side stands. The male side wields an upright sword indicating power, strength, and protection. The female side holds a chalice filled with serpents. It's representing an enduring life force. That's also Kundalini. Over death. Together as one, they reign over the land with justice, compassion, and integrity. Oh my goodness, that would be nice to have. And the upright meaning is duality, or opposing forces united in one, balance, a new and unique combination, equality, reconciliation, the end result or the ultimate goal. And I think that because it's coming along with the card of what to me is like someone in a relationship that doesn't feel that they're as loved as the one that they adore. Um, and to me, that's going to be the Trumpers. I think that they're going to be wanting someone more than him at the end of the day. You're going to see he's not delivering. Um, and there's health issues, and it's going to be more apparent to them that he's not looking good. So maybe they'll start looking at Vance. I don't know, but I think they're also going to realize maybe they don't want more of this. We have the Harpy coming. Oh, Trump will love that. You're in trouble now. And we get Bedfellows. So that's going to be the people and those like Elon and all that and Saudi and all the places that he has deals with and does things with. It kind of looks like not gonna that's gonna be a problem for him. Let's look at Harpy and Bedfellows really quickly. 8 and 19. Yeah, the Bedfellows, close connections, strange mix of companions, and it can be an unorthodox affiliation and also intrusion into relationships. Well, they certainly have done that. They're right up in everyone's business. It's nothing to do with them. Sending people that are not, uh, you know, that have their things current, you know, um, that are supposed to be here away. They're doing so much damage that maybe the more Dems will finally get the guts. I see that Booker, well, not Booker, Corey held the filibuster, but it's going to take. That's a good start. Keep it up. Make a change. See if it works. The Harpy is deception and lies, a relentless attacker, torment, negative emotions and dreadful thoughts, fear of death. That's Trump. And unfair, hurtful criticism, betrayal, propaganda. Well, he's also pushing that. And this is his connection to Putin as well. And dictators, period. It's just not doing him any favors at the end of the day. Separation. Yeah. I think Putin and he are going to experience a loss of power on the heels of each other. I think it's close by. So that doesn't entirely surprise me. And we have Separation and Adelina. 34 and 15. Let's see, 34. Let me just go back to 15 real quick. Nobility, grandeur, poise, courtesy, dignity, good manners, virtue, integrity, future potential, positive friendships. There's the separation. That's like the separation from allies because he's been bedfellows with Putin and not our allies. It's just winding down for him. And with Elon going, I think it is the beginning of a winding down. To redeem this, there's going to be a purgation. So there's going to be a purge. And I do think that means we're going to try and remove them. Deliverance. I think that's coming from the mandrake. So let's just look at that real quick. At Deliverance 40, is that 49? Okay. I think that's a real fortuitous one for our situation. So Yeah, the purgation is a taking a sharp axe. An angel child prepares to cut an evil uh, tree down to size. I don't know why a tree would be, but whatever. Um, Through bold and determined actions, she will ensure that no evil invaders will ever take root in her beautiful garden again. Women again, making you're never coming back, and I think men too, but there's going to be largely feminine energy uh, get taking out the garbage, removing him from power, and that will be also the courts. I think the likes of Wisconsin. Um, wait a minute, 49. It's a fierce battle, the domination. So it's going to be really a big deal. It's between Trump and the rest of us. But Deliverance, a volcanic mountain erupts, and we're having all this volcanic activity. And a violent explosion. A brave armored knight emerges from the roaring flames holding a small, helpless child in his hand. And the upright meaning is a hero or champion. Salvation, someone coming to the rescue, extraction, emancipation, liberation from tyranny. I'm liking it. And 22. And I'll close this out. The mandrake is masculinity, deliverance from toxic masculinity by women, by largely women. A sadistic personality, sedation, insanity, being uprooted from comforts, a cry for help, something obtained by physical effort, potentially fatal mistake. I think he's going to be on his way out health wise. I think they're going to save the country by demanding him to be removed. And his criminal house, uh, uh, it's coming, guys. All right. And we get the temple and Mercury. So that's communication and Mercurius 2023. The temple, strong spiritual foundation, holy place, sacred retreat, sanctuary. Again, be in the light and be of the light. Bring the light through. Be the channel that light, love, compassion, mercy, and moderation can come through. Um, Symbols of humanity's mortal condition as well as divine promises from heaven. So this is again paying respects. There's honor, and Mercurius. Let's see what this is about. Is taking violent or extreme measures, a thief or a trickster. That's Trump. A psychopath. That's Trump. And the whole GOP. Depraved subconscious thoughts. That's the whole GOP. Maniacal tendencies. That's the whole GOP. Becoming a victim of crime. Well, we've all been victimized by his presidency, or so called. He should never have gotten in. And I think, yeah, punishment's coming. This is for him. And something to do with matrimony. I think his partnerships, including his own marriage, there's something that's the drummer and the mermaid. I'm just going to look at that real quick, too. Sorry. 27 and 18 is an alliance. Yeah. So there's being punished by alliances probably because of the tariffs and his behavior with Greenland and everything. Um, But this can be a coming of alliances. Okay. It can be that they'll punish him while he's in, the drummer and the mermaid. It's going to make him very unpopular. And that's the rhythm of life. An urgent call to action with the drummer. That's people standing up to him. And because of things like the tariffs and him creating instability, people bringing punishment to our nation, which we don't need because he's stupid and does these things, makes these stupid choices we never ever should have even had. He just pulled it out of his butt. And we get the mermaid. So we're getting a call to action, communicating one's feelings, a dire message or warning from the spirit realm. Um, and it's about him doing things in a tyrannical way and standing up to him. 44, let's just see here, and I'll wrap this up. And you can give me your thoughts on Trump and his ending. It looks like winding down once Elon leaves. It looks like that really does kick in. So the mermaid shows someone that's left her home in the sea. A beautiful mermaid boldly scurries across the desert to explore a world far different from her own. To me, these are the immigrants. Resting by a stream, she gazes over the dry landscape and ponders in awe at the gigantic pyramids in the distance. Funny, they just found out that there's more underneath the pyramids as well here. Anyway, the upright meaning is leaving one's comfort zone, seeing what life has to offer, travel, exploration, new horizons, stranger, adaptation, migration, immigrants, an incredible journey. And him also, this is a call to action to also help with immigrants. I think because we're going to see the problems with the prices in food, and people are just not having it. I think just not going to be willing to do this. And again, women, I get Celestia. This is about a confident, balanced, feminine energy coming in. And she comes up again with the grotto. This is the divine feminine's rising time, is Trump's ending time. And Trump's ending time, it shows with these cards to me, begins really when Elon leaves. Let me know what you think. Please give me a thumbs up if you'd be so kind.